All right, number one, how meaningful is the goal? Philosophers have long argued over the meaning of meaning, but for our purposes, we will simply define it as a generally positive state of mind, similar to an emotion, and typically brought about by thinking about or doing something that is deeply important. Meaning is related to the emotions of awe and joy, and it is often accompanied by a surge of motivation to pursue or protect the meaningful thing itself. For many people, what is meaningful to them is vivid and obvious. It may be anything from protecting, caring, and providing for one's family, to helping the less fortunate, to landing a particular career, such as a doctor or business owner, to achieving a certain status within a certain domain, such as climbing the ranks of government or the corporate ladder. It could be learning a set of knowledge or skills, such as memorizing a religious text or becoming a good writer. It could be finding a transcendent state of understanding, such as through meditation, prayer, or enlightening experiences. And if you're lucky enough to know what's meaningful to you, then this first consideration in selecting a goal is simple. Just choose one that aligns with your sense of meaning and purpose. For many others, however, the question of meaning is hard to answer. Indeed, it is sometimes said that we live in a time of meaninglessness. I must say, I think that's an overstatement, and it's probably been on the lips of people since the idea of meaning was a coherent concept. Regardless of any historical catastrophizing about the loss of meaning, finding it can actually be difficult. I've talked in a previous video about finding what your core values are, and there I suggested an exercise that can help make those values clear. That is, imagine that tomorrow everything you own and do would be taken away from you. But you're then told that you can keep 3 things or activities. Just 3. Just as a caveat, this thought experiment can be taken to an unhelpful extreme, especially if you imagine literally everything being taken away. So one way to think about it is that outside of shelter and sustenance, what could you not live happily without? Is it family or friends or other loved ones? Is it exercise, flow states, being in nature, or some other kind of experience? And perhaps it's something else entirely. Whatever those 3 things are, the next step is to reduce them to values. Again, I want to emphasize that this is not meant to be too precise. So really don't think too hard about it. The point is to find what is important and meaningful to you by evaluating what you feel that you couldn't live without. So if your can't live withouts are the well-being of your family, going hiking or camping, and playing games with your friends, for example, then you might boil your values down to something like love or family, awe or nature, and joy or companionship. A shorthand way of doing this experiment, which works for some but not all people, depending on your beliefs, is to ask what your purpose is in life. However you find what is meaningful to you, the important next step is to select a goal that will allow you to protect or create more of it. As a caveat, I understand that all of us face tighter or looser constraints that make us more or less able to pursue which goals will give us the greatest meaning. Still, even with these constraints, it is often possible to move toward or away from more or less meaningful goals, even if it's a short distance.